right, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Hang on, let me drop the music real quick. There we go. All right, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hopefully, everyone has had a fantastic day so far. Looking across the board, not really. I mean, honestly, not really a ton going on. It's been really slow. Some quick pops here and there, but then just dead slow again. At the moment, the S&P had a phenomenal bounce off of that, just a fantastic L2 pullback at 69.75.70 in that area. Bounced it really aggressively right back up. But other than that, I mean, that's about it. The NASDAQ had a quick little flush lower. It's now pushing on maybe, I mean, the possibility of a bear channel falling resistance the whole way down. It's just been failing to break every time it tries to go higher. And when it does finally break, then it just falls flat on its face again anyway. So really, really big failures on the bull side, even though they're supposed to be the stronger edge. Not really showing it a whole lot. The lows. I guess that works. It's not the best looking thing in the world, but there's some obvious potential that becomes a bottom. They've been trying to do that the whole way. There's still open gap up at the top on the NASDAQ too. So potential that wants to continue. The S&P already had that nice bounce. Gold still just sideways. It hasn't really done much. Had a nice little dip to kick things off, but after that, hovering, looking to see if maybe they can get back a little bit further. Euro catching some nice bullishness back up and now hitting a zone of resistance. It's supposed to be a zone of resistance, but it's not really pushing the market back down. That doesn't really prove a whole lot. Plus, the Euro still has that open gap up at 22,420. Bitcoin just sideways. So we are in a bigger zone of potential resistance on... well, actually, we're on a couple of zones all over the place, a few different ones. But S&P's back to the middle. I can't believe, just what a beautiful V bottom at noon when everybody goes to lunch. Jeez, bounced right back up again. Well, we got about 22-ish minutes. See if you can get a bit more movement going on here. Sellers trying to push back down. Major swing is going to be down at the 68s. A lot more interesting if they can flush down to the 61, 75, 62s. That's where it becomes a lot more interesting, especially when we start looking at the faster time frame. Then we've got, I mean, this is kind of the first time that the market's really breaking away from this. I don't even want to call this a channel, but I guess for lack of better words. Possibility of a failure and a rotating back up again, if it can set up the right way. Still looking for that dip back down to like the 60s to 62s. They do have a possibility of a V bottom on the 15-minute, but I mean, if that's going to be a V bottom, then why aren't the buyers back? Right? V bottoms don't typically hang around forever. They move quick. So it's, I mean, we might end up getting another one of these where it's this gigantic move down, then up, then down, then up, consolidates for a good day and a half, and then finally breaks out from there. Would have been a little bit nicer if they could have dipped just a bit further on the NASDAQ down below those 750s. Nice bull bar coming in. This is the bull's chance to try to get things going. Bears still in control at the moment, though. Honestly, a nice bull bar to the upside, given that this went full bull engulfing and it's forcing buyers to buy directly on top of the moving average. A lot of times that will end up being a trap where it kind of dips back on itself again. Unless it just goes bearish here. But a halfway decent bull close, I could find the argument for sellers to want to push it back down in. I would like it to be a relatively big bull bar, but the zone of resistance is up in the 8150s. Potential zone of resistance to push back. Now we've got a nice pop. So sellers looking to fade into this move to drive the market back down again. Creating a bit of bullish candle gapping, so I'd like to see them fade down a little bit quicker, but we're still in scalping territory. Open gap in the 88s if they can't get stuff going. Looks like they're having a bit of difficulty. I'm going to drop one of them. I'm not interested if it can't start going down. There's too much bullishness here. I would rather hold on to the final one and just see if it can actually start turning or not. All right. It doesn't want to go. Fine. Looks like they're trying to get that V bottom going, but I don't think they're done with the lows yet. Still trying to continue back up. Doesn't make any sense to hold on. It's doing exactly what I didn't want it to do by continuing to go back up. Next zone of interest, it didn't break. It didn't get a trap either. Wow. So if it does continue back to the upside, given this bullish strength, it could realistically really start getting some shorts trapped on the wrong side, especially down at the lows. Seeing how that moved down there, that's nasty. I got a bunch of sellers in underneath the lows, went totally bull engulfing and then screaming higher. Any shorts who didn't heed the warning and start exiting, man, they're sitting underwater pretty hard right now. See if you can get a little bit of a dip back, but this next pullback is likely more so going to be dominated by scalpers buying back in again from their shorts that are stuck. Fairly good bear bar on the top, though. That doesn't help anything. I mean, maybe if this makes a new high, buyers have a shot at trying to convert this back up again, but it's got to really break. Because so far, I mean, the buyers have some good strength to the highs, but then once they get up there, it just falls apart. I like this pullback for buyers to try to push back in. This is where earlier shorts will have gotten stuck, and now they're using this opportunity of a pullback to try to drive the market back up. Nice continuation, pop to challenge the 8650s, and if it can start breaking away above this, any shorts who took it down aren't going to want to hang out much longer. See if the bulls can get another push back to the upside. That's a beautiful bull bar. We're hitting a big zone of resistance, though, so if it's not going to start going sooner than later, I would rather see it start going. We had its first kind of pullback here. Let's see if they can flush through the top this time, or rip through the top, or pop the, whatever you want to call it. There we go. Nice pop to the upside. Quick jump back up, nice target area back to the highs. It's the high closes, it's the swing highs. It's a logical point of interest to take targets. At least initial ones. Market just chopping around, not really doing a whole lot of anything. It found some resistance at the highs, not really much of a surprise there. Might find some buyers below this bull bar, depending on how aggressively they want to come in. Time of day is becoming a bit awkward. And we still haven't broken the highs. It's got to get above this 94. Nice little pop in volume right at the base of that previous bull bar. Yeah, and then they jerked it right back up again. Little inside pullback to like the 87s might be a nice refill for buyers. Nah, it's taken off without it. Maybe 89s? Hasn't broken the highs yet. Some definitive resistance coming in at 92.25. Big orders getting filled and now popping above. Good sign for bulls potentially trying to get some continuation going. Whoa, another big order. We got some volume stacking in now. All right, well, it did make a new high. Kind of. It's one of those, I guess, kind of sort of new highs. Would it go like 3 ticks above? I guess it counts. Bears trying to push the market back down again, but so far all of the bear attempts have been failures. Almost a picture-perfect twin reversal, but it's not triggering underneath the bear bar. And bulls are still really strong off that big giant one off the base there. A nice washout could be potentially exactly what the market needs. Nice bullish continuation to the upside. Big, gigantic bull bar. 348. Still got a little bit of time. Now gapping to the next candle. Bulls still taking it pretty aggressively higher. Now challenging the 12,900s. So this is a little bit of a different story. Now we've got a decisive break above the top. There's no questioning that the market has broken now. Before it was one of those like, yeah, okay, I guess you broke it, sure. But now we actually have some proof. So as far as the zone of support goes, it's going to be a little bit further back, currently at around like the 93.50s. Now 97.25. We're starting to get towards the top of that hourly wedge. But that giant wick on the bottom might be enough fuel on the fire to pressure back up to 59.75. Coming into the final 10-minute mark. $9.01. All right. Quick flush all the way back down to $9.01. Buyers will be buying into the dip $96.75 as well. This is finally giving the washout that I was looking for back to the moving average. Big bear bar off the top. But this is also the first time the market's pulled back for a while, so it wouldn't necessarily be a surprise to see it maybe try to pierce into the 90s just a bit. That's a really weak bear bar, though, so buyers might still try to take it early. Triggering above the previous bear bar is going to be the point of interest, and that previous bull bar's low, that's where that bear bar went engulfing, and that's where a lot of the problems are going to start if it can't get through there. They're buying it before they're letting it down into the 90s. A lot of volume stacking in the 95s. Looking for a quick flush down into the 92s and the 90s. This is the bigger zone of interest where buyers are actually able to get in slightly more favorable reward versus risk. Upside objectives still initially remain the same back up towards those 901s. But if it can start cracking through the top, then that makes it a lot nicer. I'd like to see it push at least back up to the volume at 98.25, maybe a bit further. Preferably back into the 900s. Market's still just kind of hovering, not really doing a whole lot, but putting in a lot of volume here at the 95s. Got about 7-ish minutes to go. Looking to see if the buyers can breach the 900s, and then from there, looking to see how far they want to go. More volume stacking into the 95 quarters. Where do we see this holding the support? Well, right now it's all based on the volume coming in at 95 off of the breakout that we had more recently. But if these buyers aren't able to get this going, then traders aren't going to be hanging out for much longer. You can see all this volume stacking up in right around these 95 still. So it's not that they've given up yet. It's just, it's not really lifting either. It's having some problems. That might just be an opportunity for buyers to try to buy a little bit lower for that breach of 90 like we were talking about right here, actually. And then for a potential bounce back up. But if they can't get that bouncing back up sooner than later, then a lot of these buyers, myself included, are going to start looking to jump ship. Nice continuation back to the upside, but I got to see it start cracking through the top. We popped right back up to those 96s. Fine, I'll liquidate those, but I still want to hold on to the 88s. I like that average. I don't know if it's going to let me do anything with it. So far, it's been kind of a pain, and it's still struggling to break through these 98 quarters. Man alive. Come on, I think I can. Nice wick on the bottom, possibly. Big bear bar down. No thanks. Nope. That's a hard pass. No, I'm not holding through a candle like that. That might be exactly what the buyers want, and if they want to take, fine. You can take them. You shook my hand. That's okay. If they show that there's enough strength to go back up, maybe I'll look to jump back in, but I'm not holding through a bear bar that looks like that. No, thank you. Closes the doji. All right, cool. Thanks. 4.5 minutes. That 5-minute bear bar 77 looks nuts. Watch for earlier longs who might have gotten trapped. If they can pop back up into the 902s, 903s, remember all the buys, especially up at the 910s? That's a big spot. A lot of buyers are probably stuck from up there. Nice bull bar to possibly kick it off. Right at the end of the day, a lot of times these end up being traps. Some of those too good to be true type setups. But I want to see it go a little bit further up first. I mean, it obviously trapped buyers, but I was hoping to go a little further. Might still have a shot. Like to see that pop up into the 150s, 2s in that area. 90150s. Nice bull bar, bad follow through. Kind of expected. Come on, NASDAQ. Quick jump right in that. $58 right around the corner as well. 30 seconds. Oh, just missed it. Maybe they use the volatility at 358. Honestly, the way that it's looking, there might be some buyers below that previous bull bar too at 93. Not a whole lot of structure. If anything, structure is against longs right now coming at the 60-minute wedge high. $358. Big zones in the right up into this area. There we go. Buyers got that return back up. This is where they're able to get back out at break even. And where the market starts churning back lower again. I want to see a continuation back below the 900s and stay relatively below the 900s. We haven't broken away much, though. There's the nice little flush. Got 1 minute left. Looking for a little bit more of a dip down, but it's not offering it up yet. There they go. Nice little continuation dip. The final minute. That first one, I wasn't sure because they jumped back down and then jerked right back up to break even. I didn't want to hold in case they were going to blow off the top. But they ended up following through, so it worked out, I guess. But it got a little bit sloppy there in the last few minutes, last couple seconds, but that'll do it. Overall, not a bad afternoon. Productive, I guess, for what the market was. But that's going to do it. As per the usual, feel free to shoot me an email if you have any questions or if I missed anything, jhb@ssftg.com. Enjoy the rest of the day. Hope you had a fantastic day of trading, and we will see you all tomorrow, right? Have a good one. We'll talk to y'all later. Thanks.